So today we'll discuss Objective-C. We'll discuss today's session. Okay. So the last class we discussed this iOS introduction. We discussed what is iOS. Okay. So what is the environment and what is the programming languages. Okay. So today's session we'll discuss what is Objective-C. We'll discuss. Okay. So Objective-C is nothing but it's a programming language. Okay. So Objective-C is what? Objective-C is a programming language. Objective-C is a programming language for Apple, iOS, and OS X. You can develop both. I mean, iPhone applications you can develop as well as you can develop the applications for Mac OS. So both applications you can develop by using this Objective-C programming language. Okay. So basically, it is designed. It is designed to develop. So both command line applications. It is designed to develop command line applications, like we'll give the input through the console. Will give the input. It is designed to develop both command line applications and GUI applications. Meaning, if you want to develop an application through console, or if you want to test the application through console, you can develop an application console based applications. I mean, command line based applications, or you can create the user interface you can create for developing the applications. Okay, so this Objective-C is a superset of C. This Objective-C is what? Objective-C is a superset of C. Objective-C is a superset of C programming language. Okay, so like C++, okay. So Objective-C is also designed like C++. It's a superset of C. We'll give a next statement. Like C++, it's a superset of C. Like C++, Objective-C is also designed okay. So Objective-C is also designed to add object-oriented programming features. I'm specifying object-oriented programming features. To add object-oriented programming features to C. Okay, so same like here C++, even in Objective-C also. So mainly it is designed to add the object-oriented programming features to the C programming language. Okay, so mainly in this Objective-C, we are having some frameworks. Mainly in this Objective-C, we are having what? Some frameworks we are having. Okay, so I'll list out what are the key frameworks here. One is Foundation framework. Okay, so Foundation framework, UI kit, Foundation framework, UI kit, App kit, Foundation framework, UI kit, App kit, core data. Okay, next core data, media player, AV foundation, AV media player, AV foundation, and Quartz core. AV foundation, Quartz core, and core graphics. Core graphics. Okay, so these are the main frameworks. These are the main key frameworks in Objective-C. So these are the main frameworks in Objective-C. Just I'll give a one-line description about all these frameworks. So mainly this Foundation framework provides some basic data types, like it provides some basic data types, I mean primitive data types, and some classes, Objective-C classes, like for example NS string, okay, and NS dictionary. So these are Objective-C data types, NS string, NS dictionary, NS array. Okay, so like some primitive data types, and if you want to print any message on the screen, we use a method called NS log. So like all these basic things is available in this Foundation framework. I mean the prerequisite for write in the code. Common things are there, right? Basically, in case of your C programming language, you'll write hash include stdio.h. So in case of C++, we'll write a code iOS2.h. So like this here also in Objective-C, we are having a framework called Foundation. Okay, so which contains some common data types and Objective-C data types. Okay, some methods, basic methods are available in this. So Foundation framework. Okay, so UI kit, the name itself it is describing. So the UI related classes. The UI related classes are available in this. So UI kit framework. Like for example, if you want to create buttons, or if you want to create any labels, text boxes, if you want to create those UI related classes, are available in this UI kit framework. And app kit is also same like UI kit. App kit is also like what? Same like UI kit, but this is for OS X. Okay, so not for the iPhone. This app kit is used for this app kit framework. I mean the classes are used for the OS X, I mean desktop applications. The core data is nothing but if you want to work with some database. Okay, so if you want to work with the database concept, if you want to work, or if you, so mainly this framework is used to communicate with persistent data. This framework is used to what? Is used to communicate with the persistent data. Okay, so like persistent data, like in iPhone we are having a database called SQLite. There is one database, or one more thing is plist is another option. Okay, so like if you want to communicate the persistent data, if you want to store, then we use this core data library we use. Okay, so media player. Okay, so this one also easily you can understand. If you want to play any audio files, the high level it will provide basically this media player provides high level API. This media player provides what? High level API. This media player provides high level API for playing music and audio. Okay, and AV Foundation is nothing but AV Foundation is termed as Audio Video Foundation Framework. So AV means here Audio Video Foundation Framework. Okay, this media player provides a high level API, high level private just for playing purpose, but this AV Foundation will provides a low level API. This AV Foundation framework provides a low level API it will provide for. Okay, so not only for playing, so this provides a low level API for playing and recording, and recording audio and video. Okay, this AV Foundation provides what? A low level API for playing and recording audio as well as video. Okay, and so what is the next one? Quad Core. Okay, so this Quad Core again contains two more sub frameworks. Okay, this Quad Core contains what again? Two more sub frameworks it contains. One is Core Animation is one framework. Core Animation is one framework, and one more thing is nothing but Core Image. Core Animation and Core Image. Okay, so basically this Core Animation is used to this Core Animation framework is used to animate UI components. Is used to what? Animate UI components. For example, you created some buttons you created, or you created some text boxes, labels you created. If you want to animate those things, we use this Core Animation framework we use. Okay, and Core Image is nothing but the same is used to animate in place of UI components. Okay, so in place of this UI components, it is used to animate the images. Okay, so not is used to animate images, not the UI components. If you want to animate any images, if you want to animate, then we use this Core image videos. Okay, so last thing is what core graphics. Like if you want to display any 2D graphics, okay, to display any for displaying any 2D graphics, to display any 2D graphics. 3D graphics is different again. Okay, so display only 2D graphics if you want to draw any lines, or if you want to show any transformations, if you want. Okay, basically if you want to display any 2D graphics, if you want to display, then we use this core graphics framework we use. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll create some. First we'll discuss about the primitive data types. First we'll discuss about the primitive data types, meaning how can we declare these primitive data types in Objective C. A primitive data types means, I hope you know about this. These are the primitive data types like int, float, character, boolean. Okay, so these are the primitive data types. Okay, so first the other types also there. So first we'll see by using this Xcode tool. So first we'll create a simple Objective C, a program we'll create, and we'll see how to execute that program. So first we'll discuss these primitive types, we'll discuss, then after that, so we'll discuss this Objective C specific data types we'll discuss after this primitive data types. Okay, so if you want to develop the iPhone applications, or if you want to test the Objective C, then we have to open a tool called what? Xcode is a tool. Okay, so let's start this Xcode tool. Xcode. Let's start the Xcode. Okay, so this is a welcome screen first. Welcome to Xcode. In my system, this Xcode version 7.3 is available, and iPhone SDK 9.3 is available. iPhone SDK, okay, or iOS SDK. Okay, so now first what you'll do is here select this new Xcode project. You want to test the Objective-C application. You want to test first. First, we want to test what? Objective-C application. We want to test Objective-C application, not for iOS. Just we'll test Objective-C program. We'll test first. So if you want to write the Objective code and if you want to test that one, let's select this create a new Xcode project. Create a new Xcode project. Okay, select this OSX. Select OSX. Okay, so for desktop, for example, OSX application. In OSX application, select command line tool. Select what? Command line tool. Select next. Specify your application name or program name. I'm creating a project. I'm creating called Objective-C test is my project name. Objective-C test is my project name. Next. Just it will ask you the location where you want to store this project. So in my system, it is storing on desktop iOS practice folder. It's storing. Let's create. Okay, we see here by default we got one. So main.m, I mean implementation file we got by default. Okay, and by default we got the code also. We got import foundation. By default this foundation framework is imported, and this is the main method. Okay, this is a syntax of this main method, and our execution is going to start, or whatever the logic you wants to perform. Whatever the logic you wants to perform, write the logic here. I mean after this auto release pool and before this return statement. So here we have to write the logic. Okay, so just here we are printing a statement. We are printing here just we are printing a statement called, by default we got this statement nslog @ hello world. This message is displaying. Let's see here whether this message is displaying on the console or not, or on the output or not. Okay, so remember one thing here, this nslog is equals to your printf statement or system.out.println statement. If you want to write anything on the console, then we use this statement. We use nslog. In Objective-C, and one more thing, in Objective-C, so if you want to hold any string, or wherever you want to specify a string type of data, before that string we had to specify this @ symbol is mandatory. Okay, I'll repeat once again. In Objective-C, wherever you are using this double quote string, okay, in your application wherever you are using the double quote string, so in that place we had to specify this @ symbol. We had to specify. Okay, so now just I'll run the program. That's it. But first, if you want to see that output, see in the top right corner you can find 3 tabs here. Okay, just take the middle one. It'll enable this. Okay, if you select the middle one, let's run the code. Just run the application. Okay, build is success, and we got the output we got. What is the output we got? Hello world is the output we got. Okay, so now we'll see, we'll declare some primitive data types, we'll declare, and we'll see how can we access those primitive types. Okay, for example, here it's normal way. For example, if you want to declare an integer variable, for example, I specified int age is equals to 27. I specified. Okay, and okay, for example, float some average. I specified average is equals to, so if you want to print these primitive values, if you want to print here, for example, if you want to print this print values, if you want to print, for example, my requirement is I want to print age is, I want to print the age value I want to print here. So if you want to get the age value, it's a dynamic value, right? Same like in your C programming language, it's an integer type. If you want to get that value, use this percentage %t comma age. So it will print the age value to that. NS log. So don't forget to specify this at the rate before the string. And for example, average is, okay, so percentage %t, sorry, it's a float value, right? We'll specify percentage %f will specify. Okay, so now if you run the code, see we got a output, we got age is 27, and we got average we got. So these we are having some data types like int, float, character, and all. For example, string. If you want to define any string, if you want to define, string is not a data type. String is not a data type. If you want to create the string, if you want to create, we are having a class called NSString is a class. We'll discuss more about this when you are discussing about the Objective-C data types. Just I'm declaring here, it's an object. For declaring an object, this is mandatory. This pointer is mandatory for creating an object here in Swift. I told you, right, wherever you want to hold that string, we have to specify this at the rate before the string. For example, I want to give my name, I want to define. Okay, and let's print the value ns log. Okay, so message is, so here what we have to specify, it's a string type of data. So in case of number, we specified percentage %t, percentage %f for float value and integer value. But here in case of string, so we'll specify this at the rate symbol, will specify at the rate, comma, let's specify the value of that one, MSG. Okay, let's run the code. Okay, so you got the output we got. Okay, so many primitive data types, is concept is same. Like you can declare any primitive data type here, but while you are accessing that value, you have to write the code in a C style. You have to write the code. Okay, this percentage %t in case of integer, percentage %f in case of float, like that. Okay, to print the value, you have to specify ns log. And if you are printing any string, don't forget to specify at the rate before the string type. Okay, and the next thing is, here we are having a concept called constants. Like for example, in case of your Java, we'll apply modifier called final modifier will apply. So once if you apply the final modifier, the value is what, it's fixed, we cannot change the value. Here also, if you want to make any variable as a constant, if you want to make, for example, this average is equals to, let's take age. For example, age is fixed 27. I don't want to, someone I don't want to make the change of this age. So simply what will declare in case of Java, will declare as a final modifier will apply. But here in Objective C, we are having a keyword called constant. Okay, so if you apply this constant keyword, meaning that value is fixed, you cannot change the value, you cannot change. Okay, so for example, if you want to, if you try to change the value, for example age, I'm trying to change the value, I'm trying to change. I specified 55, I specified. Okay. See, now we are getting an exception we are getting. Age is equals to 55. We are getting an exception we are getting because we cannot change the value, we cannot change. Okay, because we applied it's what it's a constant type we specified. Okay, so primitive data types is same. Okay, for example, primitive arrays, then how will declare the primitive arrays? A primitive array means nothing but, for example, now I want to store a group of numbers. I want to store primitive array. I want to store, you understand, right? Primitive array means nothing but I want to store a group of integer values. I want to store. So how will store that integer values, a group of integer values? So we are having a concept called array is the concept name. We are having a concept called what? Array is the concept name, correct or not? For example, here, uh, I want to store four numbers, age details I want to store. Okay. For example, we'll specify array size, will specify. For example, array size is equals to 4 we specified. Int age of 4. So meaning I want to store 4 age details I want to 4 here. Let's specify. I'm giving some numbers I want to give. Okay. I created one primitive array I created. So it's not, there is no any difference. Just I created a primitive array I created. Later we'll see we are having one more class called NS array. That NS array is the Objective C type, that is. Okay. It's a primitive array. I created one primitive array I created. Now we'll see how to read the values from this array. Okay. So basically, if you want to read the values from the array, if you want to read the values, basically we use a for loop we use, correct or not? I'm removing this logic I'm removing. Okay. Just I created only one array I created. I created one primitive array I created. What is the size of the array? 4 is the size of the array. Now my requirement is I want to repeat this loop. I want to repeat this loop. I want to repeat. How many items are there in this loop? That many times I want to repeat this loop. I want to repeat. Okay. So if you want to repeat this loop, if you want to repeat, or if you want to read the values from an array, if you want to read, so we'll create a loop. We'll create, right? So I'm creating a for loop. I'm creating for int I is equals to 0. I less than, we had to specify the count. We had to specify. Let's see how to define the count here. Okay. So here directly you can specify the count. You can specify 4 and I plus plus. Okay. So ns log values from array is it's an integer value, right? We had to specify this percentage t comma age of, pass the index. If you pass the index, we'll get the value from that particular index. We'll get the values. Okay. Let's run the code. So primitive data types we've seen, and now we created a primitive array we created. Now we created what? A primitive array we created, and we inserted the values we inserted into this array, primitive array, and we are printing the values we are printing. Okay. So next we'll see. This is one way of reading the values. Okay. Objective C is providing one more thing. This is a normal for loop. Objective C is providing one more. Objective C is providing one more type called for in loop. Objective C is providing one more loop called what? For in loop. Okay. Meaning you had to specify, what kind of value you are getting here. For example, integer value I'm getting I in age. That's it. Meaning directly you'll get the value you will get. Int I in age. So that will get the value you'll get here. You don't need to call age of one also, you don't need to call. Just directly you can specify I, you can specify. Okay, but you get the int value you'll get here. So specify the type you will specify. Let's change the type to ID. So in Objective C, we are having a type called ID is a type. No. It is telling you cannot apply this. You cannot apply this for a primitive type. Okay, it should be, if it is an Objective C type, then only you can apply this for in loop, you can apply. Okay, anyway, we are going to see that one. Objective C data types we'll discuss. Okay, in case of Objective C data types, we are having a concept called for in loop, but in case of primitive types, we had to create, we had to read the data from the array like this only. We had to read the data from an array. Okay, so next to your primitive type is nothing but type def. What is the next one? Type def. Okay, so by using this type def, we can redefine or recreate an existing data type. By using this type def, what we can do, so this is used to create, this is used to recreate, or this type def keyword is used to recreate a new data type, recreate a new data type. Okay, so by using this, this is used to recreate a new data type. This is used to create a new data type by using existing type. By using existing type, meaning if any existing character is there, like for example character, int, float, boolean, for example, if any existing character, if any existing data type is there, you can redefine or you can create your own data type. You can create your own data type, you can create by using this type def keyword. Okay, so now we'll see here, I'll try to create my own data type. I'll try to create my own data type. Let's open the Xcode. Here I want to create the type def I want to create. Okay, so I want to create my own type I want to create, but before this main method only, let's create the statement type def. So there is a statement called unsigned, and what is the type you want to define? For example, int. What is your new type name? Type def is used to recreate a new data type by using the existing type. Okay, so now I created my own type. What is my own type? Mahesh is my own type. Mahesh is my own data type. Okay, so now by using this, I want to create, we created one new type we created called Mahesh by using an existing type called what? Int. Okay, so now here in place of this int, you can use Mahesh, you can use, because now type of what? Int. We created our own type we created here. So now in place of int, you can use Mahesh, you can use. That is type def. So type def keyword is used to recreate a new data type by using the existing type. By recreating a new data type by using what? Existing type you can create. Already it's there. Already int is already there. By using that int is already, we recreated that one with our own name. Okay. So this is nothing but type def. This is nothing but what? Type def. By using existing type we created. Correct or not? By recreate a new data type by using what? Existing type. Okay, but if you want to create your own type, if you want to create your own type, we are having what? Okay, so we are having a concept called structure is a concept name. So same like this type def is used to recreate the existing type, but if you want to create your own type, even this struct is not only new in Objective C. Even if we are a C programmer, you will be aware of this struct keyword. What exactly this struct? Okay, struct is what? It's a struct is like a simple C object. So in C programming language also we are having this struct keyword is are there. So it's nothing but this struct is nothing but what? It's a simple C object. You can create multiple types. You can create You can create a structure. You can create in that structure. You can create multiple types. You can create. You can create a structure. You can create in that structure. You can create what? Multiple types. You can create. Okay. So basically, the definition of this structure is nothing but several variables into. The definition of this structure is nothing but several data types. Several data types into a simple. Several data types into several data types into a single data structure. Several data types into a single data structure, that is nothing but struct. Okay, let's see how to define this struct. So struct means nothing but, so first we have to specify, it's called as a C object we call. Okay, so we have to specify this type def keyword. We have to specify type def, and we have to use a keyword called struct is a keyword. Now in this one, so what are the types you want to define? Let's specify the types here. So first, this is guarantee. Unsigned is one thing is guarantee. You have to specify this one mandatory. Unsigned integer type. What is the type you want to specify? For example, X. For example, you want to declare one character. You want to declare unsigned character of C. For example, okay. Unsigned int of X. Unsigned character of C. Okay. So we create a structure we created. So end of this statement, you have to specify what is your structure name. For example, some sample is my structure name. Sample is what? My structure name. Okay, before this main method, we had to write this statement, we had to write, and end of the statement, we had to terminate with semicolon, we had to terminate. Okay, so now type def is in. By using this type def, we can recreate the existing type we can create. But if you want to create your own type, if you want to create, then we use what? This structure concept we use. Okay, so now in place of this type def, we'll use what? Structure we use. So type def struct. Okay, so type def struct. Okay, let's initialize the variables here. For example, one is unsigned. So wait a second, this device got struck up. So we are creating our own structure. We are creating type def struct. Okay, specify the types here, but you cannot initialize the type. You cannot initialize. Just only you have to declare here unsigned. For example, I declared int age is one thing, and unsigned. Okay, so unsigned character initialize specified and unsigned. It's loading. Just 1 second. For example, unsigned float. I'm taking average. I taken. You should not initialize. Just only you have to declare those variables. Have to declare. That's it. Okay. Float cannot be signed. So you cannot make it signed. Okay. I take an integer only. I take an. Okay. Now, if you want to initialize this structure, if you want to initialize, so while it is closing, you have to specify what is the structure name. Structure name I specified as what? Mahesh is the name I specified for this structure. Mahesh is the name I specified for this structure. Okay. If you want to initialize the values, if you want to initialize these values, if you want to initialize, we had to create an object for. We had to create an object for this struct. We had to create an object. We had to create an object for this structure. We had to create an object. Hash m is equals to. Directly you can specify the values here. For example, age. For example, I specified 27. What is the initial character? T is the character. Okay. So put that character into single quotes. And what is the percentage I specified? 81 is the percentage I specified. It's not required directly. So what initialization, it should not be declared like this. We have to initialize. For structure, we have to initialize the declaration. In this way, we have to declare the initialization. Okay. So if it is character or string, you have to specify this at the rate symbol. So don't forget to specify this at the rate. Okay. So now we create our own structure. We created our own structure. And we are initializing the values into the structure. We are initializing the values. Okay. Let's read the values from this structure. Let's read the values from this structure. For example, for nslog nslog nslog, for example, age is, I want to print the age value I want to print, so it's a number. Let's specify percentage d comma age. But you cannot call directly age, you cannot call, we have to call m dot age. Okay. So next thing is initial is, I mean your surname is percentage at the rate of, what the name is specified, initial. Okay, let's call m dot initial and average is percentage d average. Okay, let's run the code. So m dot initial, m dot average. Let's run the code. So you got the name, we got 27, we got age is 27, we got, then after that we got exception, we got, it's a character. Let's see how we'll define the character. For printing the character, we'll not use this at the rate symbol. Let's use this h w. Let's run the code. So now we got the output, we got age is 27. So initial value we got 84u, we got. But we need the character value, we need. Make it percentage C. Let's run. Yeah. So we got initial also, we specified T, we declared. Okay. And percentage C we specified just to print that character. The same C syntax I followed. Okay. So like this we are having enums, struct, type def. Okay. So there are some few primitive data types. Easily you can understand those types. Okay. And okay, in the next class we'll see this Objective-C data types. The most important concept is nothing but Objective-C data types. Just for demonstration, here I written some example I written just for demonstrating about this primitive data types in the Objective-C. Primitive data types in Objective-C. Okay. So in the next class we'll discuss. About this Objective-C data types. Objective-C data types. Okay. So Objective-C data types means nothing but there are three major data types are there in Objective-C. One is NS string, NS array, and NS dictionary. NS string, NS array, and NS dictionary. These are the three major objectives. Of course, there are other things also there like NS number and all, but these three are the NS set and all. But these three are the major classes in this Objective-C data types. Okay. The next class we'll discuss about these Objective-C data types. We'll discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you.